Hello and welcome to another episode on the Gegenpress. And today we are trying something slightly different from the ordinary. Um, this might carry on depending on my discipline throughout the whole season. And we are not just going to be limiting ourselves to talking about the English Premier League, but we will be talking about football in general. I watch mostly La Liga and Serie A, but obviously international football, transfer news, tactics, sackings, and transfers. We're definitely going to touch into that. But I feel for this first episode, I'm going to talk about something that is still very fresh in our minds, which is the recently concluded World Cup. Obviously, I think if you're like me, we are still reeling from enjoying 3 to 4 matches a day to just scraping to whatever football we can get. Yes, there are lots of friendlies, club friendlies right now, and although I wouldn't call them not meaningful because preseason is very important, but of less importance because I think preseason is mostly about gelling together, getting the players into shape, knowing their new teammates, and in some clubs who just change managers, um, new managers and coaches imposing their philosophies and ideas. So let's go back. Let's talk about the recently concluded World Cup. And my thought is that I am not a fan of the United States hosting the World Cup. Although, yes, logistically and financially, it is a right decision, especially having the world's wealthiest nation hosting it alongside their two closest neighbors geographically. I don't know about politically, but geographically, they're just next door in Canada and Mexico. Logistically and financially, it makes sense. But in terms of culture, I don't think so. Yes, it benefits the MLS a lot. Um, Obviously, it benefits the growth of football in United States of America. I still hate the fact that they insist on calling the sport soccer, and I am so glad to see the United States crash out because of all this talk of if we win the World Cup, you have to start calling it soccer. I guess you didn't win it, and you guys should continue calling it football from now on. Um, I think it's good that there were a number of interesting results throughout the whole tournament, but I am not a fan of 48 teams participating in the World Cup. Listen, let me discuss here. So it's good that with 48 teams, you get more lesser known nations participating, but it also dilutes the overall quality. Now, before you jump on saying how are they diluting the quality when you have the likes of Cabo Verde and Curacao doing miraculous results, but let's be honest here. You get them to play the same game again, these teams are gonna get whipped. Cabo Verde holding off Spain and Argentina. It's how to put it. It's like when two teams play against one another. When two teams go into the match trying to win, you will get interesting results. But if one team comes in and just starts to turtle and they just want to not lose instead of trying to win, this is what you get. So, not taking any credit away from Vozinia, 40-year-old fairy tale story, holding back the goals. Great, good stuff for the media to talk about, especially. You want to get good news, good fairy tale stories, feel good stories for this World Cup. For the casuals, yeah. But for a football fan, to me, the World Cup happens once every 4 years. I want to see the best players feature, best players stand out, step up. And it's great to see the likes of Mbappe, Haaland, Messi scoring goals, showing to the world that, you know what, we are the best, right? And I just don't want to see deadbeat games where, that's it. You're just watching the game and then it's just to complete the schedule, just to get the best third place teams. I think it's stupid. That whole best third place teams are gonna be are gonna qualify into the knockout stages, and we don't even know that until the final day of the group stages. It takes away a lot of the enjoyment of each match in the World Cup is important. It goes down to the fact that let's not try to lose. And this is the same thing because of this whole system where the third place team can still qualify if they don't leak 5 6 goals from the offset. You get teams turtling like what Cabo Verde did. And is that the World Cup that we want to watch? If that is the one that you enjoy, by all means, I respect your opinion, do it. But to me, I want to see a World Cup where every team that comes into it are trying to win it. Each match is for the team to win. Both teams are in it to win it. Not they just come in. Let's not let in too many goals so we can steal 2 points out of this out of the 3 matches, get 2 points, and then by the third one, because of goal difference, you qualify into the knockout stages. That is not what I want to see. I hope they return to the standard 32 teams that we are used to, but I don't think that's going to happen because more teams equals more matches. More matches means more money for the hosts, for the broadcasters. So I don't know whether I am the minority or the majority on not favoring a bloated World Cup. So if you think a 48 team World Cup works, share your thoughts in the comments. I'm more than happy to see the discourse. But I am of the camp where stick to 32 teams. After the group stages, cut it into half. We go straight into knockout stages. That's it. Great matches. And about this hate towards Argentina, which I really, really don't enjoy this World Cup, is how social media has taken over the whole narrative of saying the whole world hates Argentina. Um, it's only Cristiano Ronaldo fans and teams who were beaten by Argentina hates Argentina. It's not the whole world. People who understand football, people who appreciate football and can see and watch football from a neutral perspective would just want the best team to win. And yes, they are complaining about the aggressive play, the unfairness with inverted commas there that is coming out from Argentina. I said, dude, that's how South American teams tend to play. They are more physical compared to the technically, no, the European teams who focus more on technique and tactical side of the game. That's the beauty of the World Cup. Different teams come on board with different styles of play. Yes, you can say, hey, Ken, but you hate teams who are turtling. Yeah, because I want teams to come out and play. Yes, I respect that different teams have different approaches, but if you have your own approach to win a game and not just not lose, that is what I want to watch from the World Cup. So South American teams will come in and be more physical. If you watch Copa America, you would know how rough it can be. Whatever we saw out of Argentina in this World Cup is nothing compared to what we watch from the standard Brazilian League matches. All right? So, with the whole world hating on Argentina or just wanting to see Messi fail, I think it's all combined into this weird blob of the footballing world hates Argentina, that he is FIFA princess and Infantino's favorite child. I think that's really, really stupid. And whenever I see that online, I look at those accounts that report it and it's like almost 90% of the times you're either a Real Madrid fan or a Cristiano Ronaldo stan or your team just got beaten by Argentina. Messi is not in his prime. Messi left his prime probably 2 World Cups ago. I didn't think he won the previous World Cup in his prime even. He wasn't. He was great, but the prime Messi is a different sort of Messi. But he got a good team that was built around him, and I enjoy watching it. Um, Although yes, I think my early tournament prediction always had Spain winning it. I projected a Spain Argentina final. Um, I think to see a good fairy tale ending to Messi's career would see him winning his second World Cup, and walk into the sunset. But I think that final, either Spain or Argentina, both teams deserved it, and the way that Spain dismantled France in the semis, I fear, because I'm a fan. I support Italy, and now with Jurgen Klopp leading Germany, I support Germany. I fear that this is going to be another dominant Spain, not just in the World Cup, but also during the Euros and European tournaments. I don't think they would put too much effort into the Nations League. Um, it doesn't count. I mean, sorry, Cristiano Ronaldo fans, but that doesn't count. That is nowhere on par with the Euros. It's nowhere on par with Copa America, and you can argue until the end of the day, but I will still disagree because it's a different set of tournament, and I'm kind of disappointed to see how Cristiano Ronaldo just went out on a whimper this World Cup because I expected more from him. People blame, a lot of fans were blaming the midfield of Portugal, Vitinha, Bruno Fernandes for failing to support him, but I don't think they were the problem. I think Portugal and Argentina are good case studies of how when a team decides to work around a star player and a team is forced to work around a star player and that star player is willing to do their part to make sure it works. Because from what I'm seeing is just Cristiano Ronaldo wanting to get the final ball, put it into the net, and make it all about him, which is not really in line with my belief on how a football match or of how football should be played. Whereas Messi, yes, he doesn't track back, he doesn't chase the balls back, but his teammates do it for him. But if he's doing the heavy lifting in scoring goals, I think that's a fair trade-off. I think until the third group match, I think Messi is the only one who's scoring for Argentina. So can you complain there? So I thought the final was all right, although it does seem a bit sus. Argentina didn't look like themselves. It felt that they were a bit turtling, ironically. But Spain was too good. If Spain was able to do that to France, they could definitely do it to Argentina. And what happens next with Argentina, I don't know. I doubt we're going to see Messi in another World Cup. I doubt we're going to see Cristiano Ronaldo in another World Cup. There's that. I thought England did really well, but I thought it's weird to see that Jude Bellingham and Thomas Tuchel were arguing after the press conference. I think there is definitely something wrong happening there. Yeah, Thomas Tuchel should at least hold back rather than saying that they could have done better. They won a game, but Jude Bellingham, just remember that's your manager. So, which is why I feel it's gonna be an interesting England journey for Jude Bellingham because great player, but I don't think he's got the attitude to back him up to be a sort of a leader which a manager can rely on because this is a guy where you give him too much power, he will step on you, given the chance. So fun stuff. See how he will carry himself in Real Madrid in the upcoming season, especially with Mbappe being a leader he is. There's Jude Bellingham and then there's Jose Mourinho. Lots of ego. Let's go. So, what else? What else do I miss out? Okay, I thought Lamine Yamal could have done better during the tournament, but considering the kid is just returning from injury, cut him some slack. I thought he did really, really well. The final product wasn't showing. Interestingly, Spain won the tournament without a real big world-class number 9. Ferran Torres, you put anyone in Ferran Torres' position, they will score that goal. So the fact that Ferran Torres is trying to command a really huge salary or being demanding in his recent transfer news, I said, come on, dude, milk it while you can. But Ferran Torres will be a non-factor in the upcoming season. I don't care where he goes, but I think the guy is really milking his worth. Not good enough to start in at least the top. I don't know. I don't think he would start for Liverpool. I don't think he would start for Arsenal. I don't think he would start for Chelsea or Man City. He might be a good option for the likes of maybe Tottenham. on Newcastle, since Walter Mada isn't doing that great, but he is nowhere near the levels of a top team. And lastly, we will be talking about what I think of Brazil. I thought Brazil. I didn't have much hope for Brazil. I actually thought that they would lose. I actually predicted them losing to Japan because let's be honest, that Brazil Japan match, Japan was controlling it. Brazil were totally outran, they were totally outplayed. The only difference that Brazil had was physicality again, and sometimes, sometimes that magic dust, which let's not forget that this is nowhere near a full strength Japan. They lost Mitoma, they lost Minamino, they lost Endo, and who else did they lose? There's Kaoru Mutomataku, Minamino, what was the other guy? Anyways, this is nowhere near a full strength Japan. So a full strength Japan would easily beat this Brazil. So I think the problem with Brazil is that it's Carlo Ancelotti. Yes, he's done wonders at Real Madrid, but his style has always been packing his teams with the best talent he could gather and let them play. He is not a motivator. His tactics are mediocre at best. Sorry, Carlo, love you, but and you do that for Brazil. I mean, come on, you have Igor Thiago up front. You are not winning a tournament with Igor Thiago up front. And the whole reliance on the likes of Bruno Guimaraes or even bringing back Neymar, this is not the Brazil of old. Sorry. I grew up with the Brazil of Ronaldinho, Kaká, Rivaldo, Ronaldo, R9. That's the proper Ronaldo, yeah? And that team would wipe this World Cup Brazilian team many times over. And Vinicius, that's the thing. Vinicius tries to be like that same role what Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo is for Argentina and Portugal. Get him the ball, he'll do the magic stuff. But he is nowhere near those levels. And good thing for him, went back early, managed to work on his chin. So that's what I thought of the recent World Cup. Oh yeah, let's talk about Germany. Quick one. Let's talk about Germany. Love the fact that Jurgen Klopp is back into coaching. I think Germany is going to be really, really interesting with him in charge. I would see them doing that whole unbeaten or 100% win record qualifiers. I think Wirtz is gonna excel really, really well under him with Musiala up there. I'd like to see what he does with Karl Lennart, whatever you call him. And then the strikers, I would try. I don't know. I would love to see Voldemort do well for Germany. I would love to see Undav being given more opportunities up front. I think Kai Havertz is one of those players that would excel under Jurgen Klopp. Kind of sad that he didn't end up in Liverpool, which is under Jurgen Klopp back in the day, went to Chelsea instead. But I think Germany has a bright future ahead of them. Not a fan of them leaving Adidas to go for Nike because Nike kids are kind of shit right now. But watch this space. I think Germany is going to be a very dangerous contender for the Euros. I think the Nations League, they'll do well there. And Italy is sad. I don't want to talk about Italy. But anyways, I'll be talking about club football in the next episode. I will try to upload it immediately after this one. So if you have any comments and suggestions, leave them down below. Appreciate your response. If you disagree with whatever I said, let's keep the debate civil, because at the end of the day, I respect your opinion, and I hope it's reciprocated. Oh, it's likewise. Yeah, thank you for support. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. I will try to upload at least 3 videos such as this every week and talk about football, transfers, upcoming season and stuff like that. And so if you don't want to miss it, do subscribe, get the notifications and whatever, all those YouTube call to action thingy. I'll see you in the next video.